Karma is not punishment from the skies. It's cause and effect, multiplied over time. And whether or not you believe in it doesn't matter. It's happening. Have you ever heard of the man who cheated his business partner out of millions, only to lose everything in a lawsuit 5 years later and end up bankrupt, divorced and alone? Have you ever watched a liar rise to power, charm his way into success, only to be exposed years later in public disgrace, cancelled and ridiculed? What about the bully from your high school, who laughed, humiliated others, and walked like he owned the world, only to be working a dead-end job now, overweight, broken, forgotten by everyone? Or the man who always helped people, even when no one noticed, then one day gets a life-changing opportunity from someone he helped years ago without expecting anything in return? You've seen it. Maybe it's even happened to you. Today we're looking at the laws that govern reality. The laws that determine whether you break through or stay stuck. The laws that decide whether your pain has a purpose, or if it's just your permanent address. Those laws are the 12 laws of karma. And once you understand how they work, your life will never be the same again. Number 1. The law of cause and effect. Every single choice you make, yes, everyone, plants something in the ground of your future. Most people treat life like a slot machine, throwing in coins of effort here and there, pulling the handle of hope, and expecting jackpots in return. But karma doesn't work like that. Karma is arithmetic. It's results, inputs, outputs. If your life is chaotic, unstable, full of betrayal, disrespect and aimlessness, it's not bad luck. It's cause and effect. You tolerated a lie, and now you're in a world where truth feels blurry. You compromised your values, and now your own standards mock you every time you look in the mirror. You said yes when your gut screamed no, and now you're surrounded by people who don't respect your time or your worth. This law doesn't care about your intentions. It rewards what you do, not what you meant. That's the brutal beauty of it. It's fair. You show up late. It gives you results that reflect inconsistency. You avoid difficult conversations. It gives you unresolved tension. You chase validation. It gives you people who dangle approval like a carrot and withdraw it when you don't perform. You want different? Then give different. This isn't about performing kindness so you can manifest better outcomes. This is about becoming someone who is congruent. If your actions and your beliefs are in conflict, karma will reward your actions. You can't meditate your way into respect if you keep entertaining people who mock your peace. You can't affirm your way into wealth if you spend your free time numbing yourself with entertainment instead of building something real. Ask yourself, what am I tolerating that I wouldn't advise someone I love to tolerate? That's where your karmic correction starts. The man who lives with alignment doesn't chase peace. He creates it. And when chaos shows up, it leaves quickly because it doesn't recognize him as one of its own. You want loyalty? Then show it to yourself first. Be so disciplined in how you talk to yourself, how you treat your own goals, that disloyalty from others feels alien. Don't just remove people who disrespect you. Remove the you who tolerated them. Rewire your daily decisions so power flows back into your life. Journal your non-negotiables. Track your commitments. Hold yourself accountable like your future depends on it. Because it does. Karma doesn't ask what you wanted. It gives you what you taught it to give you. And if you're tired of getting scraps, stop living like someone who deserves leftovers. Number 2. The law of creation. You don't stumble into greatness. You construct it. You don't trip and fall into peace. You build it brick by brick with habits, thoughts, people and boundaries that protect your energy like a fortress. Yet most men today wake up reacting, drifting from distraction to distraction, hoping that somehow the universe drops miracles into their lap while they scroll endlessly through content made to numb them. The law of creation is mercilessly clear. If you don't build your life, someone else will use you to build theirs. Every time you procrastinate, you offer your power to someone else's vision. Every time you don't speak your truth, you reinforce a world that values lies. Every time you suppress your standards to stay likable, you become replaceable. The man who creates does not wait for motivation. He sets structure so discipline is automatic. He doesn't rely on willpower. He builds routines that move without friction. The life you're living today is not an accident. It's an echo of your last 90 days. Your mood, your finances, your confidence, they're not mysteries. They're results. If you look at your body and don't like what you see, check your daily fuel and movement. If your bank account makes you anxious, track your inputs and your consumption. The world isn't punishing you. It's giving you feedback. You create momentum through micro wins. Wake up earlier, not for hustle porn, but for clarity. Cut out media that pollutes your focus. Replace toxic friends with solitude and mentors. Refuse to entertain drama. Create rituals around learning. Devour books like your future depends on them. Invest in experiences that stretch you. Break your goals into 3-month arcs and reverse engineer your weekly actions. Write every Sunday what success looks like by Friday and track it. If you are not producing, you're consuming. And consumption without boundaries makes you mentally overweight. The law of creation gives nothing to passive dreamers, but it gives everything to those who craft their environment with precision, who turn vision into systems, who upgrade their circle until their future feels inevitable. Your life doesn't reflect what you hope for. It reflects what you consistently build. So stop waiting. Building. This is why you can't afford to keep living on autopilot, letting the noise of the world shape your identity while your potential waits in silence. The Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men, linked right now in the description, isn't just a guide. It's a return to the man you were born to be. It's the manual you were never given, built for those who are done chasing clarity and ready to create it. If you've ever asked, why do they leave when I give my all? Why do I feel lost even when I'm doing everything right? How do I build a life and love that doesn't fall apart? This book answers with precision, depth, and brutal honesty. Once it's yours forever. No expiration, no subscriptions, just truth. Right there with you, in every chapter, waiting to be used. Anytime, any season, any version of you that's ready to stop surviving and start creating. Number 3, the law of humility. You can't fix what you won't face. You can't grow past what you won't admit. And yet most people would rather wear 1,000 masks than admit they've been the architect of their own heartbreak. They blame the world, their ex, their boss, their parents, everyone but the man in the mirror. The law of humility demands brutal honesty. That means admitting that the reason your relationships fail isn't just because she was toxic, but because you ignored the flags. That you lost that opportunity, not because they didn't see your value, but because you never developed rare skills. That your life is full of tension, not because the world is unfair, but because you've been avoiding the uncomfortable conversations that lead to truth. Humility is not weakness. It's the beginning of real strength. The strong man says, I created this mess, and now I'll clean it. The weak man keeps posting quotes hoping the pain disappears. Take inventory. What are the truths you've been dodging? The weight you said you'd lose but haven't? The side hustle you keep talking about but never started? The toxic person you said you'd cut off but still entertain? Write them down. Now write why you haven't done it yet. Be surgical. Name the lie you keep telling yourself. I don't have time. Really? Or have you just been escaping responsibility with entertainment? I'm waiting for the right moment. No, you're afraid of failing publicly. I just want peace. Yet you create drama by not setting boundaries. Once you tell the truth, everything changes. Because clarity kills excuses. Humility isn't about shame, it's about strategy. When you face your flaws head-on, you disarm them. When you admit the weakness, you take its power. When you stop pretending, you start transforming. True humility makes you a student again, and students grow, they learn, they improve, they outlast the prideful. You want to evolve? Then shatter the ego that says you're already doing your best. You're not. None of us are. And the moment you accept that, real growth begins. Number 4. The law of growth. No matter where you move, what you change, how far you run, if you haven't dealt with the root, the weed will grow back. Men everywhere chase new cities, new women, new jobs, new hobbies, new therapy terms they saw on Instagram hoping to escape themselves. But the harsh truth is that you can't outrun the man you are when you're alone with your thoughts. You take your habits, your fears, your ego, your insecurity, your broken discipline and unresolved childhood validation issues wherever you go. Your new relationship becomes your old one in disguise because the wounds never healed, just temporarily distracted. You're still the same man hiding behind slightly better clothes, slightly higher income, slightly more polished words. But growth doesn't happen in surface changes. It happens when you sit alone with your pain, identify its origins, and actively replace your patterns with better systems. This law doesn't coddle, it confronts. If your default reaction to criticism is defensiveness, you haven't grown. If your first instinct in conflict is to raise your voice or shut down, you're operating from wounds, not wisdom. If you're waiting to feel ready before making a leap, you'll live and die in the waiting room of life. Growth demands discomfort. You don't grow by reading quotes or listening to motivational speeches. You grow by confronting your triggers, holding eye contact with your fears, and forcing your body and mind to do the work even when the dopamine is gone. Growth doesn't feel good because it's change. It's choosing to stay at the gym when your ego says you're not making progress. It's sticking with your commitment when your brain screams to quit. It's rewriting a message before you send it because your old self wants to be petty and your new self is committed to peace. Growth is cleaning your room when no one is watching. Growth is choosing silence over insult. Growth is saying no to a woman you know is bad for your peace, even if every part of your body craves her validation. Growth is not sexy. It's discipline in the dark. The reward, freedom, emotional independence, peace that isn't tied to approval, confidence that isn't shaken by rejection. Stop asking for life to be easier. Start asking for the strength to endure it. Ask yourself, where am I still reacting like the man I used to be? And then correct it. Not tomorrow. Now. Because your future self isn't waiting at some distant finish line, he's built in the choices you make today. Number 5. The law of responsibility. The hardest pill for a man to swallow is this. Everything in your life is your responsibility, even the things that weren't your fault. She cheated? Your responsibility. Why? Because you saw signs and ignored them. You compromised boundaries. You stayed after the first betrayal. You thought love could change chaos. You stayed silent when you should have spoken up. Your finances a mess. Your responsibility. No one taught you financial literacy? Doesn't matter. Learn, study, fix it. Your body out of shape? Nobody told you how to train. Then get online, find mentors, stop making excuses, and fix it. Your career stagnant? No one showed you how to climb. Learn the rules. Play harder. Blame is easy. Growth is not. The law of responsibility doesn't care who's to blame. It only cares what you're going to do about it. Are you going to stay in victim mode, talking about what happened to you? Or will you become the man who transforms because of it? Most men live reactive lives. Something bad happens, and they spiral. Something good happens, and they coast. No structure, no vision, no responsibility. But the man who owns his life, he plans, he tracks, he adapts. He learns skills not because he feels like it, but because he must. He controls his environment because he understands that discipline is fragile and influenced. He watches who he surrounds himself with because he knows low standards are contagious. You are not a puppet. You are a creator. You have more power than you think, but only if you own it. Owning your life means taking accountability even when it hurts, even when it's embarrassing, even when it exposes your flaws. Especially then. Own your words, your tone, your thoughts, your silence, your wasted hours, your inconsistent habits, your distracted mind. When you say, "It's my fault," you don't lose power, you take it back. You become the man who rewrites his story, not the one who recycles his trauma. Make a list of 5 areas you keep complaining about: relationships, money, health, time, discipline. Next to each, write the truth. This is my fault. Then ask, what will I change in the next 24 hours? Real responsibility starts with ruthless self-awareness and ends with action. Not more self-help, not more journaling, movement, strategy, grit. Own your life like your future depends on it, because it does. Number 6, the law of connection. Everything you do is connected, not in theory, in reality. The way you eat influences how you sleep. How you sleep shapes how you think. How you think decides how you speak. How you speak determines what you attract. There is no separation. The problem is you've been taught to compartmentalize. You think you can party hard on weekends and stay disciplined on Mondays. You think you can entertain gossip and drama, but somehow expect peace. You think you can lie to people and trust that others will tell you the truth. That's not how it works. Karma doesn't have amnesia. It's cumulative. Every skipped workout compounds. Every ignored red flag becomes a rupture. Every bad habit you defend becomes a leash. You want peace? Then check your inputs. You want success? Audit your circles. You want clarity? Limit what you consume. You're not just what you eat, you are what you scroll, who you follow, what you tolerate, how you respond, and when you act. Imagine your life as a machine. One faulty gear affects everything. You can't expect precision when you're running on rusted beliefs and outdated systems. This law doesn't ask you to be perfect. It demands consistency. Connected living means living consciously. If your mornings are chaotic, your whole day follows. If your evenings are unintentional, your sleep is shallow. You want confidence? Then do things that build it repeatedly. Don't just go to the gym once. Make it a rhythm. Don't just journal once. Make it a system. Build routines so powerful they carry you when motivation dies. Connected men don't rely on willpower. They rely on design, structure, triggers. They optimize their environment. They eliminate distractions. They design lives so aligned that momentum becomes natural. Make a list right now. What are 5 things I do that bleed into other areas negatively? Fix those. Then list 5 things that positively affect everything. Double down. Be intentional. Because the life you want is not hidden, it's layered. Built one aligned decision at a time. Small hinges swing big doors. And when you connect your decisions to your destiny, you become unstoppable. Number 7. The law of focus. Focus is not something you find. It's something you build through ruthless prioritization and self-discipline. Most men today can't hold their attention longer than 20 seconds, not because they're weak, but because their environment has been hijacked by distractions they willingly tolerate. The truth is, every time you check your phone for no reason, every time you jump from task to task without completing any, every time you let your thoughts wander without redirecting them, you're burning your focus muscle. And just like a weak body can't lift heavy weights, a weak mind can't carry a vision. This law is brutal, because it exposes how much time you've lost chasing things that don't build you. You say you want success, but you answer every notification like it's a command. You say you want clarity, but your YouTube history looks like a circus. You say you want love, but your attention is scattered across faces you'll never see again. Focus isn't about willpower. It's about removing access. Turn off every notification. Schedule your day like your life depends on it, because it does. Start your morning without your phone. Protect the first 60 minutes like sacred ground. Use timers. Write your top 3 goals every morning. Say no more often. Block toxic people. Filter your media. Read more. Build your mind like it's a weapon, because it is. And that weapon is either sharpened by focus or dulled by distractions. Stop multitasking. It's a lie. Your brain isn't designed for it. You're not being efficient jumping from screen to screen. You're training yourself to be scattered. Deep work builds momentum. 1 hour of focused effort is worth 10 of reactive chaos. Build rituals around focus. Same desk, same time, same music, same intention. Create triggers for deep work. Don't wait to feel ready. Design your readiness. Write weekly focus reviews. Ask yourself daily, what did I waste time on today? How will I stop tomorrow? Protect your vision like it's oxygen, because without it, your life will suffocate in mediocrity. This law rewards those who protect their concentration like gold, because in a distracted world, focus is a superpower. Number 8. The law of giving and hospitality. Everyone talks about wanting love, loyalty, opportunity, but how many are actually giving it without keeping score? The law of giving is not about pretending to be generous to look good on social media. It's about becoming someone so full of purpose, value, and direction that giving is your default, not because you expect something in return, but because that's who you are. Most people are transactional without even realizing it. They give compliments hoping for validation. They offer help hoping for praise. They show up only when they know they'll be seen. But the man who understands this law doesn't wait for recognition. He operates from abundance. He gives energy, knowledge, respect, service, and kindness as a reflection of his internal standard. He gives not to please others, but to please his own character. And paradoxically, this kind of giving attracts more than any manipulation ever could. But here's the catch. If your giving is weak, inconsistent, or performative, you'll attract the same kind of inconsistent and selfish people. That's karma. You want loyal friends? Be fiercely loyal. You want better conversations? Ask deeper questions. You want more opportunities? Offer value where others don't. Host without expecting reciprocation. Support without complaining. Give without resentment. Create content. Share insights. Help someone climb. Mentor someone stuck. Build bridges. Not because you're a doormat, but because you know your giving comes from strength, not scarcity. And yes, you'll be taken advantage of at times. That's life. But don't let that poison your spirit. Set boundaries, not walls. Learn to discern leeches from allies. Give where it grows, not where it drains. Hospitality isn't weakness. It's leadership. It's holding space so others can rise too. And guess what? The universe notices. Not instantly, not always visibly, but behind the scenes, your energy sets the stage. Your character becomes your calling card. And one day, when you need it most, the doors open, the support appears, the path lights up. Not because you begged for it, but because you became someone worthy of it. That's the law. That's the power. Number 9. The law of here and now. You are living in a memory or a fantasy, and it's stealing everything real from you. The law of presence is the most violated rule in modern life, and it's the one silently destroying your ability to feel, love, grow, and achieve. You're thinking about what she said 6 months ago, what you should have said to your boss, what your parents didn't do, what your ex did do, and meanwhile, your now is evaporating. You scroll for distraction, binge for comfort, sleepwalk through your days hoping the pain goes away without facing it. But this moment, right now, is all you ever have. The next breath, the next choice, the next decision. Everything else is either imagination or memory. And every second you give to the past is a second you surrender from building your future. You can't heal if you keep reopening wounds. You can't grow if your mind is stuck in cycles. The truth is, healing only happens now. Growth only happens now. Discipline only happens now. This law demands a ruthless return to the moment. Not later, not next week. Now presence is power. It's sitting with discomfort instead of escaping it. It's staring down fear instead of running. It's making that phone call you've been avoiding. It's showing up for your schedule even when no one's watching. You want peace? Then be here. Fully. Not halfway. Not distracted. All in. Watch your breathing. Put your phone away. Look people in the eyes. Listen with your chest, not just your ears. Reflect before reacting. Say what you mean. Own your silence. Honor your time. And when thoughts pull you into regret or anxiety, bring yourself back by anchoring into action. Fold your clothes. Clean your space. Write your thoughts. Move your body. Cook your food. Stay grounded in the now, not because it's trendy, but because it's necessary. This is where your power is, not in overthinking what went wrong, not in worrying about what might go wrong, but in building what must go right. Be here. Everything you want is built from now. Number 10, the law of change. If you keep living the same cycles, reacting the same way, loving the same type of emotionally unavailable people, tolerating the same disrespect wrapped in different faces, then life will continue to hand you the same lessons until you finally decide to become someone who no longer fits that old pattern. And here's the part most people don't want to hear. The universe does not reward intentions, affirmations, or wishes. It rewards new standards that you enforce with unbreakable consistency. Meaning, the reason you're still stuck is because you're still tolerating something deep down. You know you've outgrown. And this law slaps hard because it's not about the world changing. It's about you becoming unrecognizable to your past. About you outgrowing the need to prove yourself to people who never saw your worth. About you no longer needing to be understood by those who only understand comfort and chaos. It's about deciding today, not next year, not when you're ready, but now, that you will never again choose a version of life that insults your soul, and that's going to cost you, yes, comfort, familiarity, social approval, temporary pleasure, but you will gain sovereignty, clarity, momentum, and a future that doesn't look like your past. And the way you enforce this is simple, not easy, but simple. Every time you feel the urge to return to old patterns, pause, reflect, then act like the man you are becoming, not the one you used to be. Every time you feel fear rise when a new opportunity presents itself, choose courage, not perfection, not procrastination, but bold movement. Start small. Say no when you used to say yes, just to be liked. Wake up on time, even when your bed begs you to stay. Go to the gym, not just to look better, but to prove to yourself that you can follow through and make a list. 3 beliefs that no longer serve you, then destroy them, literally. Write them down and burn them if you must. Then replace them with actions, not mantras. And when people try to drag you back into your old story, don't argue, just outgrow them. Build so silently and powerfully that your new results make explanation irrelevant. And remember, growth feels like grief at first. You're not just evolving, you're burying the man who survived, so the man who thrives can rise. Number 11. The law of patience and reward. We live in a world where everything is instant, fake, surface deep, and built to distract you from your long-term potential by seducing you with short-term pleasure. And the man who masters patience becomes a giant in a world of emotional toddlers, because while others are scrolling, clicking, binging, quitting, he's building silently, stacking habits, compounding discipline, and making delayed gratification his superpower. But the reason this law hits hard is because it will test you beyond your limits. It will delay your results. It will frustrate your ego. It will make you question your value. And that's exactly the point. This law asks, can you keep showing up with full intensity even when nothing is happening? Can you still train when your body looks the same for 60 days? Can you keep building your craft when no one applauds? Can you keep giving value when no one seems to notice? Because if you can, you separate yourself from 95% of men who quit right before the breakthrough, who want the fruit without the roots, who chase dopamine instead of discipline, and your reward. Not just the result, but who you become in the process, and that version of you, the one forged in silence, consistency, and unshakable standards, is the version no one can take from you, and the practical way to live this is to build with time as your ally, not your enemy. Think in 10-year visions. Reverse engineer your goals into 90-day systems. Track daily progress. Journal every week. Remove toxic urgency from your mindset. Replace it with strategic patience. Understand the market. Study long-term thinkers. And remind yourself daily, anyone can start. Few can endure. And the reward isn't just external. It's inner mastery, because when you can delay what you want for what you truly need, you become unstoppable. So when you feel like quitting, remember, every day you keep going when most would stop, the universe notices, and the compound interest of that effort will explode in your favor when you least expect it. Number 12. The Law of Significance and Inspiration. There will come a day, maybe today, maybe in 10 years, when you will wake up, look around at your life, your room, your relationships, your body, your bank account, your mind, and realize that everything surrounding you is a reflection not of your potential, not of your dreams, but of your standards, your decisions, your tolerance level. And whether you like it or not, the world is not ignoring you. It's simply responding to the level of significance you assign to yourself in your own story. And this law hits deeper than the rest, because it exposes the quiet tragedy most men live through. The tragedy of being invisible in their own life, of making themselves so small, so agreeable, so passive, that not even their closest friends know what they stand for, what they burn for, what they're willing to die building. And this law demands that you stop waiting to be chosen, that you stop begging for a seat at the table, and instead become the man who builds the damn table and decides who eats. Because when you treat your mission like a hobby, don't cry when the world treats you like a spectator. And if your presence inspires no one, your absence will impact nothing. And that is a brutal truth many avoid by hiding behind fake humility and false comfort, saying things like, I don't need to be significant. But deep down, every man longs to be remembered, not for fame, not for ego, but because we are born to create, to build, to leave something behind that says I was here and it mattered. And the reason your relationships feel shallow, your days feel dull, your goals feel pointless, is because you've disconnected from your deeper why, from the fire that made you dangerous to mediocrity, and you've been slowly drifting into the gray zone of existence where nothing hurts too bad but nothing excites you either. And this law pulls you violently out of that fog and screams, you are not random, your suffering is not wasted, your perspective is not a mistake, your scars are not just pain, they are power, but only if you dare to alchemize them into value for others. Because your life has two timelines, one where you shrink, blend in, self-abandon, and die with a whisper, and one where you rise, speak truth, Live fully and leave echoes behind that others will walk with long after you're gone. And the bridge between those two timelines is action taken from conviction, not comfort, from clarity, not confusion. And if you want to live a life of inspiration, you must start by becoming someone who is impossible to ignore. Not because you're loud, but because you're lit from within, grounded in purpose, and unwilling to die before your gifts have been given. And the only way to access this level of significance is to stop consuming and start creating. Stop nodding and start leading. Stop blending and start becoming the one who lifts others by example, not advice. Because people are not inspired by perfect men. They are inspired by honest men, relentless men, disciplined men who carry their burdens like armor and their failures like blueprints. And the practical way to live this is to write down what you want to be remembered for. Make it specific, emotional, powerful. Then reverse engineer that into actions you take every week, whether that means sharing your story, building a business, mentoring someone lost, writing that book, speaking that truth, showing up for your kids, defending the weak, honoring your word, facing the demons your father never did. And if the voice in your head says, "But I'm not ready," then remind it. Significance is not reserved for the polished. It is created by the committed, and the world doesn't need more perfect men. It needs more real ones who carry meaning like a sword and wield it for good. So build your life like it's your last chance to matter. Because one day it will be. And when that day comes, and your story is told by the lives you've touched, the men you've inspired, the legacy you've carved through pain and persistence, make damn sure they say, "He lived like he meant it." The Stoic relationship blueprint for men is the most powerful tool you'll ever own if you're ready to reclaim control over your life, your peace, and your path forward. Because once you understand yourself, no one can use confusion to control you again. This isn't just about relationships. It's about building unshakable clarity, enforcing standards with confidence, and finally becoming the man who never chases, because he chooses. It's linked in the description right now, and it will be yours for life. Every strategy, every principle, every truth you were never taught. Get it before comfort convinces you to delay again. If anything I said hit your soul, comment, "I choose power right now," to stamp this moment in your mind. Like this video if it woke something up in you, and subscribe, because there's a man out there right now, just like you, who's drowning in silence, and your engagement might be the reason he finds this truth before it's too late. Don't let another day pass in confusion. Reclaim your power.